Welcome. What if I told you that with just one smart if formula, you can make your spreadsheet think, decide, and even predict like a mini AI? In this video, I am going to show you how you combine if function with and, or, and not, and make this function as a advanced trick that even pros often miss. So ready to turn your Excel skills from good to wow, let's dive in. So I have this small database of salesperson, reason and sales, and here we will test if function and how can we use to make it a more powerful by using and or not function. So I have this all these conditions, so we will learn all this thing in this. So let's get into that. So first condition I will just test when the sale is greater than 1 lakh, I require 10% here. So let's check whether it's working or not. How to do that? It's a simple logic. We can use the if function. If bracket start this sale is greater than 1 lakh, I can manually type it or refer the cell. I have just refer the cell so that it's easy for me. Now I have mentioned the first condition logical test for that. If that value is greater than 1 lakh, then if value is true, what I require 10%. Else I required 5%. If I press enter, I will get the result 10%. Let's check for the other cells. I just copy paste and take it down. So see, wherever the value is greater than 1 lakh, I will get the result. So how this is just checking. If you just want to check it, this condition, select this and press F9, you will see that the condition is true. Here if I press F9, it will say this is false, so that's like giving a 5%. Now just come back to second option of using and option with if. Suppose here I have two conditions. When sale is greater than 1 lakh and reason is not, only then it will give me 10%. So even in the case of West, the value sales is greater than 1 lakh, it should not give me the 10%. I will give only 5% here. So how can we give it in a if? So just understand, I have given in the two conditions then it to be fulfilled. So in if function, I can use and logic. And logic is I can give the two logic inbuilt and it will combine it and give me the result whether it is true or not. So here my first logic is when sale is greater than 1 lakh and reason is greater than, reason is equal to not. So see, I have given the two logical tests. So whenever these two logical tests are passed, then it will give me the final result 10%, else it will give me 5%. Bracket close. See, let's check for the other options. So see, now I am not only getting for the north where reason is value is greater than 1 lakh. Here the north value is less than 1 lakh. I am getting only 5%. So here simple way, generally I see people type multiple type of ifs, but if we get combine if we, then I can make the formula shorter and easy to understand. Now where to use or? So as a name suggests, and means you want both the conditions to be fulfilled and you get the result. In the case of or, you want whether this condition fulfill or whether this, I will get the result. Like whether the reason is north or west, I want 10%, else 5%. So here's whether it is north or east, so I have to use or condition here. So I will type if and will type the logical test or. So here it will check for the whenever the logic will pass, whichever, it will give me the true result. So first logic is when this reason is equal to north, press F4 to freeze it. Second logic is when this reason is equal to this. So here any logic will fall true, it will give me the final result as true, and then I want the result as 10%, else I want the result as 5%. Bracket close, I will get the 10% for the first cell. Let's check. So wherever the reason is north, west, and then I will get the result. So it's like easier. And another condition is where to use the not. You generally not able to see that this function is used, but it is very useful. Somewhere we have, suppose these are multiple reason and we just want one condition. Yeah, when that reason is not equal to that east, I can also use this sign arrow, which is the sign of in Excel considered as not equal to sign, but we can use the not formula also. So how can we do that? So condition is when reason is not equal to east. For all other reason, I am happy to give 10%, but for not for east. So here instead of typing if it is north, south, this, then it will be 10%, else 5. Instead I will give when the reason is not equal to east. How can I do that? If logical test not bracket start, logical test is this reason is equal to east F4. So means when this condition is true and it is excluded, then I want 10%, else I want 5%. So see, I am getting 10% here. So wherever the reason is east, the formula is working right there. Now you have understand the simple use of and or not. We can also combine this. You have to just think how can we combine it. I have just given one example here. Suppose I have mentioned one same condition which I mentioned or that sale is greater than 1 lakh and reason is north, it will give me 10%. But I have added one or condition that wherever the reason is also west, it give me the 10%. Whether the sale is greater than 1 lakh or less than that. So here I have the combination of and or, and I can use both in if function. So let's check how to do that. I will type if. So I have two conditions or in the or in first logical test I will test this first condition sales and north reason. For that I will type the and function in or. My first logic is when this sale value is greater than 1 lakh, I can manually type this comma, and then this reason is equal to north. Text should always be written in inverted commas. So this is my AND condition, whether this fulfill or whether this is equal to reason west, bracket close. Then if whatever the condition is fulfilled, I want 10%, else I want 5%. So if I press enter, first I am getting 10%. Let's see whether for the west reason, see, in this case west, even the value I just type value less than 50,000, it's still giving me the right result, 10%. So here we can have multiple like not condition and we can have a multiple combination. You will just have to think logically where to put that and then get the final result. Now also we can have a nested if. Suppose I have a two condition one cell that to be fulfilled. Like I mentioned, when sale is greater than 1 lakh 50, then it gives 20%, and if it is greater than 1 lakh, then it gives 10%, else 5%. So in that if, so first condition I have to give the first, which is the condition to be fulfilled. Then if that not fulfilled, then it gives to the next, then it goes. So I will always start with when it is greater than 1,50,000. I should not start with when it is greater than 1 lakh, because I will just type if function when this cell is greater than 1,50,000, then I require 20%. If you find this condition okay, it will not go forward. So that's why if you type it is greater than 1 lakh, if this condition is fulfilled, it will not go. If I type, now this condition is done. Instead of value if false, I have a 1 second more condition is greater than 1 lakh. So I will type again if this value is greater than 1 lakh, then I want 10%. So I have mentioned the two conditions. I have just forget to freeze it. I have to freeze it. And now for all the rest condition, I want 5%. If I press enter, So here what I have mentioned is, so I have mentioned if two times, so I have to close the bracket two times. So let's check whether the formula is working fine. So I getting the 20% where the value is greater than this, and for the rest I am getting the 10%. So also in the Excel 365 there is a formula called if else, so there is no need of writing if again. So let's check the same again. If I type if else, I have to mention the first logical test. When this is greater than 1,50,000, then result is 20%. Now still see, now I don't have to type if again. I have a logical test too. When this value is greater than 1 lakh, I want to result 10%. So see, it doesn't have any false condition, and I have to just close it. So I will type true. If above these two condition not fulfilled, last will 5 fulfilled, then it will give 5%. So it's very easier than if function. So see, don't have to type again and again if, and also the closer bracket I don't have to type again. It will work the same way, but will make the formula easier. So it is giving me a 10% for here. I have to check. I have not freeze it. That's the reason it is giving the incorrect. Now I think it will give the correct result. Yes. So also in Excel you can add emojis to make it interesting. So how to get emoji? You have to press window and this dot key. So if I am pressing window dot key, that emojis is open. That emojis you can open within a formula. If this cell is greater than 1 lakh, then I required smiling emojis. So I will get press window dot key. So I will type for this emoji. You can select multiple emojis there. You can go there. There are multiple emojis. You can get whatever you want. Right now I am just going with whatever the previous I have chosen, smiling emojis. Just double click it. So oh no, it's again multiple time it's coming. These emojis are in the text format, so it has to be mentioned in a inverted commas, otherwise the formula will not work. Now if value is untrue, I want this sad emoji, and I have to mention this emoji is in inverted commas. Sorry. And bracket close. See, it is smiling emojis, and whenever the sale is down, it is blank emojis. Thanks for liking this video.